What up? What up? We're back. Welcome to the Enveonline podcast. You're rocking with your host, Deshaun Jones, aka Son of a Jones, one half of Enveonline.
Yes, and his partner Azar Johnson, and the other half of Enveonline.
Definitely, man. We back, so we got to start it off right. Let me paint the picture real quick. So, on our last podcast about a week and some change ago, we were discussing basketball, the WNBA.
Yeah, I guess we were.
Yeah. And the topic was the New York Liberty. And one of the takes that we had during the end of the segment was, will the Liberty make the playoffs?
Yeah.
Azar Johnson said no. Deshaun Jones stood 10 toes down. Again, we've been rocking with the Liberty since 2011. Since Cappy Pondexter was the point guard. Since
Poindexter, yeah.
Poindexter?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I'm pretty sure.
My apologies. I'll just say Cappy, Kia Vaughn. Salute to Kia Vaughn because she just retired. Lynette Pearson. They drafted Sidney Colson, Alex Montgomery, and such. So I was standing 10 toes down. And we had a little wager on that.
Yes, we did.
I said, we putting up a case of Pepsis.
Yes.
So can we do the honors? Because the Liberty made the playoffs, sir. I need my case of Pepsi to start the podcast off right.
Okay, so I just want to say that I want to apologize to New York Liberty because I took the bet that they weren't going to make the playoffs. So, and being that I lost that bet, I'm going to have to give Deshaun Jones his case of due. Yeah, you go.
Shout
you
out
on
to
your
the
case
Liberty,
to do,
man.
man. Whatever.
I stood 10 toes down. I'm still rocking with y'all. We're going to get into it, but, I'm going to get set up. I'm going to let him start off the Liberty while I crack open a cold one.
Yo, this guy. You just got to keep talking about it. Really? You going to do it right now? Okay, so anyway, the New York Liberty's chances, I think when we talked, they had to beat Atlanta on Friday night, in which they did. And then they had to win their game Sunday afternoon, in which they did. And they won both games and ended up getting in as the number 7 seed. I want to say the number 7 seed in the playoffs. And they actually did, even though they were eliminated last night, they actually did better than what most people thought. They thought it wasn't even supposed to go to 3 games. It was supposed to just be an easy sweep for Chicago. But the Liberty won the first game coming out the box.
Now, I'm glad I didn't bet on the over of them winning because I was talking crazy on social media.
Like, they're going to go to the finals.
When they won the first game, I was like, they about to sweep them, man. But I will say this, salute to the Liberty. You guys had a great season. As you said, they did better than what people expected. And I personally think they have some building blocks to build upon for next season. So we're going to get into that for a few minutes as we discuss on this segment our WNBA content. So I'll let you take that away.
Okay. Well, with the New York Liberty, they finished the season, like I said, out of the first round. What I think was surprising is how they came on. I know Sandy Bordello, I think they have their exit interviews tomorrow, but I know Bordello has spoke briefly about their injuries that they had all season. That, like, the end of the season was when
they got healthy
at
the end of the season. So we see what's going to happen next season.
What's on the horizon. Yeah. So I think if Laney's healthy, Howard, Anescu, Hanzu. We've seen Hanzu's very valuable. I saw that. Sammy Wickham, she's valuable too. And I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but Johannes, she's very ill too on the guard level. She can get assists and she can score. She's a double threat.
Who's the guard that comes off the bench with the braids?
Dangerfield.
She's great too.
She's great. She came in and filled in great. I don't know if they're gonna bring back Dee Richards and Jocelyn Wallaby, who also filled in great.
Let's pump the brakes on. We haven't heard nothing.
Right,
we don't want to start no rumors.
I think what makes me look at them, like when I saw Dee come in and do what she knows how to do best, and she plays great defense. She can assist. She assists in the games. she complements whatever the Liberty are doing. Whatever you need her to do, she does it. Willoughby was the same way. She assisted and complemented whatever the Liberty were doing. So, I mean, to me, they definitely, but it seemed like when Laney got healthy, they, kind of, Didi kind of, I don't know, for whatever reason, they didn't put her in the lineup. I don't know what reason it was, but I think they just they have so many players. So it's but so many players can get in. But if the Liberty are healthy,
you see how dangerous they are.
They're probably, and this is probably gonna sound crazy. They're probably a number 4 or 5 seed going into the playoffs instead of another number 7 seed.
Okay.
And when you got a home court advantage,
that's big.
That's big. So I mean, like I said, they didn't really have home court until Game 3, and they made it come back to Game 3, which it wasn't even supposed to do that. So, salute to them. I think they're gonna have to make some tough decisions as any time with the WNBA, because I think the WNBA, I don't know, I mean, there's only 12 teams, there's 14 teams or something like that.
Between 12
14, whatever, because I know they're adding 2 more teams.
2 expansion teams.
2 expansion teams. I don't know if it's next season. I'm pretty sure the season after next. But for whatever reason, anytime when you have a league that small with that many of less teams, it's kind of hard to keep, all the talent. So, I mean, Brundel's going to have some tough decisions, but it's kind of like a good tough decision, not a bad tough decision. It's like, who can I keep so we can get to the next level?
This is important in basketball when we're talking about depth.
Mm-hmm.
We saw that with my team on the NBA level for the Celtics. Saw them get a little bit further because they was a little healthier in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Switching back to the W, we saw how dangerous the Liberty are when they were healthy at the end of the season. And I totally agree with your take.
Mm-hmm.
Healthy, they're a number 4 seed. And I know next year they get back the player that they drafted this year who was out because of surgery.
Yeah,
I believe.
Yeah.
So next year she'll be healthy. So that's another layer. As having a forward, I don't know, coming behind Hanzu or whoever is the starting forward.
Mm-hmm.
So you just added another layer next year. So I'm excited for the Liberty moving forward, and it looks like the sky's the limit with them. Barring injury. Healthy Liberty, very dangerous.
Right. I think there's nowhere else to go but up. Not gonna lie, it didn't look good for a while there. It did not look good.
It looked good to me.
Yeah,
Mr. 10 toes down.
Yeah,
let me crack my Pepsi open.
There you go, man. Nah.
New York Liberty since 2011, since Cappy was the point guard.
I will say this. With Laney, once Laney came in, I said this on previous podcasts. Laney was a big loss, and people didn't understand it until she came back. Because I'm going to keep saying this, and I don't want to make it sound like how it's going to come out. When Inescu is not the focal point, and she's not scoring 30 points, and she's distributing the ball and still doing her, but involving other teammates like Howard and Laney, it's a whole totally different game. When she's scoring a lot of points, they're not winning that much. But when she's distributing and so in other words, when her stats across the board are her points, assists, and rebounds are up, then the Liberty win. When it's just her points are up, the Liberty do not win. The record is not good.
Like I said, I think that would change with growth, with chemistry, with them gelling. What's Inescu, a second-year player, if I'm correct?
Yeah, it's her 3rd year, but this is really her 2nd year.
Because she was injured.
Their 1st year, her ankle.
She was injured. That's what I remember. So this is technically her 3rd year. As she grows in the league and as she grows with her teammates, she'll find a healthy balance. Can't expect a lot out of a professional athlete, man or woman, NFL or NBA. They say it's about your 4th or 5th season.
Right.
And I really think she got the hang of it. So I'm very confident in Sabrina's ability to be that leader, whether it's scoring or assisting. And like I said, I know next year it's going to be a whole different ball game. They got that taste in their mouth. You know you hungry.
Right.
You got to the playoffs. You was, jabbing the champs. You hit them with that shot. Bow.
Right.
Got a game. You got a round.
Right.
You might say next year, yo, we can knock the champs out.
Right.
We just need one more piece. So transitioning from that, what do you think that piece might be? Do you think it's developing talent? Do you think they need to make a trade? Or do you think they just need to stay pat and develop what they have?
Stay pat, develop what they have. I really think I like Natasha Howard's like a top tier player.
Definitely.
You know, Laney is a beast. I mean, you know, it's not none of that team when you look at it, they all could start anywhere else. Any other team they go to, they can all start.
That's
not every one of them. I'm not gonna say no names. There was players when they first started the season, then no, would not have worked. So just everybody that's on that team now, that from Didi to Willoughby to Johannes to who else comes off the bench? Wickham, all they all could start somewhere else. So I mean, it's just I would run it back and let's just see how the team is when they're 100% healthy. Okay. Let's see how it works out. I really do. Because, I mean, if you think about it, the top team right now, the top 4 teams, if you think about it, it's Vegas, Chicago, Connecticut, and who else am I missing here? There's a number 4 team. There's a 4 team. In Seattle.
Okay.
Those are the 4 top teams. So if you look at it, when you're a team, you always want to look in your conference to get out of that to beat it. And I think the top team in the conference is Connecticut.
Yes.
So Connecticut's over Chicago, or Chicago's. Either way, I think they shown they can play with Chicago. So had that been a best of 5, who's to say where this would be going? You get what I'm saying?
Especially when you got a gunslinger.
Yeah.
With Johannes.
Right.
That game that I went to that you missed. Mm-hmm. And I think that was for them to make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Yo, she has no, what they say with Steph.
Yeah.
She has no fear.
Yeah.
I'm looking at her one leg step back, fadeaway 3-pointer. Mm-hmm. Now in the press conference, she said that was a bad shot, but when you practice it, you know, you're confident. So when you have a team like that and you have sharpshooters, man, we might see something special next year.
Right.
You know, I'm knocking on wood. I'm very high on them, so we'll see.
Let me say this and let me put this part in it. With the Liberty last night, and because we're talking about the end of the season, what I saw last night and what Sabrina's going to have to work on during the offseason, she's got to learn to stop taking certain shots. I know you got the mama mentality and all that. Stop taking certain shots. There's certain shots you shouldn't be taking. So
remember what I said, you got to specify.
And my thing is like, you know, sometimes I see her take shots. She's like all the way in the corner. She'll take a 3. You know that ain't going to go in. Like, it's just not going to go in. Or sometimes she should pass the ball and distribute it, and sometimes she'll still take the shot even when she's double teamed.
Okay.
You know, and then there's times like last night, like Chicago went on a 23 run last night. Mm-hmm. There was nobody, for whatever reason, it just wasn't working. They're going to have to learn to, like I said, we saw Laney be a beast last night, but we saw Laney, you know, Laney she only had but a few games going into the playoffs. She didn't really.
That's rust.
You know what I mean? So let's like I said, once again, let's run it back next season. I can assure you they'll probably be in the higher seed spot. So when they do a best of 3, they'll be hosting 2 games, and instead of just trying to win a game to bring it back to New York from 1 game. That one I can guarantee. If they keep everything intact, and I'm pretty sure knowing Brondello and her history, as long as she's been in the league, she knows what she needs to do, whether she wants to keep everything packed or bring another player in. But for now, for her team is, unless there's somebody coming out of the draft, which you know there's always one great player coming out of the draft, but the Liberty aren't that low in the drafting. So, I mean, I don't see anybody that they really need coming out of the draft that's going to make an impact. They're not at that level anymore. They're at a level where it's like, look, we're looking to take the next step. And the next step for them is to probably get in the top 4. I can assure you Brondello's next step is to win a championship with the Click in the top 4 with those Connecticut, Chicago, Seattle, and Las Vegas.
Stay packed. Mm-hmm. Keep your bench.
Yeah.
Don't try to trade all your core pieces for a superstar. Oh, man, I think I'm about to get into the next conversation. Or are we going to save that?
Go ahead, yeah.
Nah, but before we get off this segment, just want to finish off by saying great season to the New York Liberty.
Yes.
I hope you guys are healthy in the off season. Have fun. Mm-hmm. See you next year. Keep doing your thing.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna make the playoffs again next year. I put 10 cases of Pepsi on that.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. 10 toes down since 2011.
I predict they'll be hosting. My season in reviews. They'll be hosting at least the first round. That's at least what they'll be doing.
I'm with you on that. Salute to the New York Liberty.
Yeah.